1 second, y'all. What's up? Get this out of here. Hey, what's up, people? How y'all doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Rough one. It's a rough one tonight. Hope y'all can hear me loud and clear tonight. Things have changed. I want to say what's up to my moderators, Buck Bewley, Ebony, and Black Mamba. What up? How y'all doing? Let me make sure my chat is working, make sure my mics are working. We good? All right, man. We in the house. Am I loud and clear? Yes, no? Can you see me? Buck says he can't see me. We like it this way, Buck. It's not broke. Well, that should be this way. It's the new set, Buck. Hey, what's up, Black Mamba? How you doing? No, I just did a different thing with the lights, Jim. How you doing, Jim? What's going on? Yeah, we're no longer. Well, I figured if this is going to be the most dangerous show in America, it had to look dangerous. Yeah, if we're going to tell dangerous truths on the show, then it has to look a little bit more dangerous. It has to look a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more jagged, a little bit more rugged. I mean, if we're going to rebrand the show. What's going on? Blackmore Friedman, what's happening? What it do, what it do, what it do. So look, guys, if you're new to the show, my name is Tim Black. You're watching the Tim Black Show. This is the most dangerous show in America. That, my friends, is a high bar. Because you may not know this or not, but there's a show called The View. And I think if you sit through it for 15 minutes, the danger that it poses to your brain is significant. You might leave dumber than you were when you sat down. That of course our show's a different kind of danger. You know what I'm saying? And the danger is if you come in here believing that the Democratic Party or the Republican Party are great, your feelings might get busted. Your feelings may be hurt. And that's intentional. My intention is to hurt your feelings when it comes to that. If you come here thinking that the Democratic Party or the Republican Party are parties for the people, that's the problem. So that's the first thing we want to do is we want to overcome that nonsense. Also, we cover U.S. politics, we cover breaking news, we cover black culture on this channel. And my job in doing dangerous work is to say the things that you will not hear said other places, and if you do, they're not going to be said this way, because I don't go watch what other people say, then try to say whatever they said, the thing that's acceptable to say. We set trends, we don't follow them. We're thought leaders, not thought followers. So anyway, welcome to the show. I want to say what's up to my Tim Black Wolfpack people. These are the people that keep the lights on, and as you can see, there ain't a whole lot of that happening. But I got people, and to those people, thank you. You know who you are, Johnson. You know who you are. Popo says, milk that head is glistening, brother. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's the intention. Yo, I appreciate you. Give it up for that. See what I'm saying? Listen to him, Buck. Listen to Papa. Papa they Shayla. Listen to Pop. You take notes. You know, I try to keep my agreement, man, that I'm not going to delay the show, even if that means I ain't prepared all the way. I got a couple clips I like to run by you, but I gotta admit, I don't have a whole thing. I don't have a whole thing put together. I got some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was told once upon a time, I could talk about anything for about an hour, and it'll be interesting because I got good stories, and I know things. And I guess we're going to have to put that to the test tonight. But I will start with something that's riveting, and I want to get off into it. Hey, folks, how about we start getting off into the business? I mean, you know I love you. You know I rock with you, right? You know that, right? So we're gonna skip naming all the people that are in the chat. We'll come back. I'll say what's up again, but damn it, Johnson, what happened here in D.C. a couple days ago when 2 National Guardsmen were shot? Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's talk about it. The ramifications, fam, are serious. If this thing's ready, it might not even be ready. I got to see if this even came through because I'm kind of rushing. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it came through yet. I hope it's gonna come through. Shouldn't take that long. It's a short clip. It's a short clip, Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it gave me an error. Let me take another look here and see. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, that should have popped up already if that's gonna come up there. That's that good. I guess I gotta go look at that. I gotta go look and see why it didn't happen. Y'all know what I'm saying? Anybody see my coverage? I put out some content earlier today. I covered The View. And them having a conversation about Viola Fletcher. We covered that. Actually, we covered it on Friday. And then I put out a separate clip on it today, and I put out a short video about it. Rest in peace, Viola Fletcher. Miss Viola Fletcher. She was 111 years old. A survivor of the Tulsa Massacre who spent all of her life pretty much campaigning for restitution for the victims of the Tulsa Massacre, which was a state-sponsored terrorist act against the black community there. And she didn't live long enough for that to happen. That's amazing. 111 years, and you still don't live long enough to see it happen. Pretty much tells us what they think about us, right? I mean, you got to admit, it tells you. If you're dumb enough to think that America loves you, I mean, all you got to do is look at the story of Tulsa and look at what happened as far as compensation, remedy for that. That tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Yeah, sometimes we got to accept the bitter truth. That's what we got to do, fam. Hold tight, fam. I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go get I gotta go get my video. I gotta see my video didn't start jamming. Let's see. Do I have anything here? I don't have any I don't have anything to run. It's against FCC guidelines. I have to put something on the screen. Can I run a little bit of my girls?
Now, there you go. I can wait till it's my turn.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. You know, we don't have to. We don't have to do that. So it's running now. I don't know if it was running before, but it's running. Hey, look, check this out, guys. Before we get to the grimness of what happened in D.C. with the shooting, can we talk about, we do a little pop culture? Let's do a little pop culture real quick when we talk about Kevin Hart. I know you weren't expecting that, right? So Kevin Hart has a new special on Netflix, and I was going to watch it. I watched a little bit of it. Check it out. So I'm sitting in the chair. I got the remote in my hand, and I'm going through channels, and I'm all set up. You know, I got a little drink, you know, fuzzy slippers on, looking cozy, about to check out something on the television. Mrs. Black walks in, she says, "What you watching? What you watching, baby?" I said, I'm about to get his brother a shot. That's something. I'm about to get his brother a shot, and I'm going to be unbiased. She said, "Uh-oh. Who's this?" I said, "Kevin Hart. He got a new special on Netflix." She said, her response to that was, really no words. It's not a word. It was a groan. It was like she got punched in the stomach. It was like, oh. You know, I said, wow. I said, see, you messing with me. I want to see it was funny. Let's stop. Don't do that. I'm going to watch. So I try to cut it on, and that sucker starts spinning. You know, it kept loading. It was spinning and spinning and spinning. It kept spinning, fam. She goes, "See? That's the universe trying to tell you, baby. You should watch." Oh, man. Okay, so I watched a little bit of it. I watched maybe 15 minutes of it, and I chuckled a couple of times. I didn't laugh, like, ha ha. Look, I know what a good comedy routine is. A great comedy routine makes you rewind shit when you're at home. And a great comedy routine when you're in person, you forget everything you heard because you laugh so hard. You can't even remember the jokes. Like, damn. Like when I went to see Dave Chappelle, when I saw Charlie Murphy, yeah. Who else I saw? Lavelle Crawford. These people I saw live. When I saw them live, you know what I'm saying? They were funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? But when I went to the original Kings of Comedy, hilarious. Couldn't remember a damn joke. But yeah, the Kevin Hart thing wasn't that good, actually. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as bad. I think some people just say, like, Kevin's, what he talks about is not, he's talking about money, not money problems, but about having money and having kids that have money. His kids, like, I don't know, maybe he needs to go tell those jokes around rich people. You know? Just so many, you know what I'm saying? Because like so many people are going to be able to relate to him, is what I'm trying to say. And when you're talking about things like, well, he wanted a motorbike instead, this person wanted a motorcycle, this one wanted a jet and a boat. I don't fly commercial ever. Like, what? Like, who? I can't fly. You know, it's like, that's not, I don't know if that's a joke for the masses. So it's like, it's very evident that class has something to do with it. It ain't just if you're a black man or you can relate to black people. It's like, yeah, it's a certain kind of black people. Like Kevin, I don't think Kevin's accepted that his stories could not revolve around shit he be doing. You know, because what he be doing is not what we be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like nannies and flying in private jets and, you know, I don't know. Look, I'm not gonna say it was horrible. Just because I didn't finish it doesn't mean it was horrible. I'm a busy guy. You know what I'm saying? And every time I'm sitting back, I don't know, like y'all, some of y'all might relate to this. You ever be sitting there watching something and be like, I'm up here. This is this man's dream. I'm up here feeding his dream. I got things I should be doing for myself that I'm not doing while I'm doing this. I feel that way sometimes. I be like, oh man, do I have time to do this? I don't really have time to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really got to be worth it for me. So, man, yeah, it's got to really be worth it for me to allocate time to watch something, man. In fact, when I find good shows, I get upset because I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to have to watch that. Damn, I'm going to have to juggle this thing. I'm about to dedicate hours of time to get, because once it gets good, I got to watch it, you know, like season shows, you know what I'm saying? Entire seasons of content, I got to lock in, and I'm like, damn, man, I don't know if I'm going to have time to lock in, you know? But the thing with Kevin Hart, I just want to put it out there. I mean, a lot of people jumped in the thread. A lot of people were roasting Kevin. I'm not roasting him just because I didn't watch the whole thing. Kevin Hart. He reminds me, he like Donnell Rawlins to me. Like, Donnell Rawlins, let me put it this way. Donnell Rawlins and Kevin Hart. If there was a room of people, if you were in a room with them, and you like, and we are trapped in the room, we can't get out, and it's just me, a group of us, and Kevin Hart and Donnell Rawlins are there, and we're like, damn, we're gonna be in this room for a couple hours. If we said, well, someone said, hey, well, if Kevin said, hey, want me to tell some jokes to make the time go faster? I'd be like, nah, let's just think quietly to ourselves. You know, I feel the same way about Donnell Rawlins. Donnell was like, I'm rich, bitch. Because to him, he's not funny, so he just yells at you. Ah! Yeah! Yeah! And it's like, that's not funny, fam. That's not a punchline. I did that, yeah, that's not funny. So the same thing, if I was trapped in a place and we were gonna be there for a couple, say we're in the elevator, it's gonna be about an hour before we can get you out. Donnell's like, man, listen, son, I got some material, son. I've been working on, son. I'd be like, yeah, can we just listen to the music on our smartphones quietly? Yeah, man, I'd be like, nah, don't even do that, fam. Yeah, don't even do it. But it's new material, son. I just came up with it, son. Keep it. Don't want nobody to steal it. But it's only 6 of us in the elevator, son. I'd be like, nah, man, but I don't trust, you know what I'm saying? Don't trust it. Keep it private, fam. Keep those jokes private. Yeah, man, that's what I think. All right, y'all. Hey, man, I had to come up with something, Chan. I had to come up with something. Y'all ready? Yeah, we're ready. Let's see what we got, fam. I think this video should be ready. It shouldn't have took that long. We are good, fam. Welcome to the Tim Black Show, the most dangerous show.
An act of terror. That's what the president is calling an assault on 2 National Guardsmen in the nation's capital. So the 2 soldiers remain in critical condition this morning after police say they were both shot at point-blank range, just blocks away from the White House.
We saw one National Guardsman being wheeled out on a stretcher, and he had a device helping pump his heart, it looked like, doing automatic like CPR, and his face was covered in blood.
The 29-year-old suspect was tackled at the scene after a brief exchange of gunfire. Law enforcement say he came to the U.S. from Afghanistan about 4 years ago. In response, the president vows to crack down on immigration even further.
We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them.
We've got CNN senior White House reporter Betsy Klein here now. Betsy, we heard the president basically condemning this as an act of terror, but also expanding his concerns to immigration more broadly. I think
Yeah, I want to pause right there, man, because first of all, fam, I want to let's have this conversation together. Let's try to unpack this together. I don't see nothing wrong with that. What I mean is, I don't see anything wrong with Donald Trump saying we need to really vet people before they come in here. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. And I believe anybody in his place, any president would have said something similar. Yeah, I believe that Obama would have said the same thing. You know, if he was president and a person seeking asylum, we brought him in, they were, you know, and they did a terrorist act, we say, hey, we got to be careful about who we bring in. I think that's fair. I think that's what he would do. I think Bush, I paid attention a little bit to politics under Bush, and I'm thinking same thing. I think Bush would have been that way. He would have said something similar. I don't know about Biden. I don't even know if Biden was really presidenting when he was president. Was he really president when he was president? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, people are pushing back on this very natural reaction that I think anybody would have. If you had a group of people that come into your house, say you had a party at your house, and somebody stole some shit, you'd be like, well, babe, these are all people we say we knew. It wasn't an open house where anybody could come. These are people that we knew. How well did we know them? These are your friends and my friends, and one of our friends went in our bedroom and stole some shit. Stole some personal items. That's never happened, but if it did happen to you or I know me and Mrs. Black would have to have a conversation about who we regard as our friends and who do we let in. And as we started to go over that idea, like, how are we going to protect ourselves better? Obviously, we were taken advantage of. We didn't take it. And somebody took advantage of us, and it was somebody we let in. So we should do a better job of deciding who our friends are that come over our house. Or maybe we can't have people come over our house anymore. Right? You know, a lot of things that people complain about with Trump, I get, and then there's a lot of shit they complain about that I don't get. It's all politics. It's all blue versus red, Dem versus Republican, Republicans versus Democrats. It's all, you know, feuding. When they know damn well the same thing would have been done or said in different words, in different terms, but the basic outcome would have been the same. Obama would have been more eloquent, but he would have said basically the same thing. Particularly if the people that came in were people that were vetted under the previous administration. Now, I know we got a lot of people that watch the show. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, X, we're on YouTube, we're on Kick, we're on Rumble. That's a lot of platforms. I'm sure we got a lot of different people with different opinions. I'm saying, why is it that we normal people, we are not those political parties? The 10 Black Show, us, my audience, my wolf pack, my 10 Black VIPs, right? My dangerous crew. We are not riding for political parties. We above the parties. And when we say, hey, if someone stole something out your house, after you invited them in, you be like, okay, I gotta be more careful about who I invite in. Why is that crazy? And that's when the Democrats will get to talking, the liberals will get to talking, blah, 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 and they'll start moving the goalposts. They'll tell me how my analogy is wrong, all because they hate Trump. If it was under Obama, or under Hillary if she became president, or under Kamala, and she inherited this situation, if it was under a Republican president that the people were vetted, and then they did this shit, you don't think Kamala wouldn't have put it on Trump? So that's one of the problems we have, man. We got people that don't keep it 100. That's the problem. We don't have that problem, do we? Let's keep going.
Brought up Somalia at one point. Can you talk about what the plans are out of the White House?
Right, Audie, just a really horrific day here in Washington, and the Department of Homeland Security has identified Ramanullah Lakanwal as the suspect in the shooting of these two National Guardsmen. Lakanwal is an Afghan national. He came to the United States in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome. To remind you, that's the Biden-era program that resettled those Afghan nationals in the wake of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. He applied for asylum in 2024, and it was granted by the Trump administration in April of this year. He is in custody at an area hospital after being shot. Now, one source tells CNN that this suspect is not cooperating with investigators. We still do not know the motive. We do not know how the suspect got this handgun that he used. We also do not know the full extent of the suspect's injuries at this time. But we do expect to hear more on where this investigation stands from D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, as well as FBI Director Kash Patel a little later this morning. President Trump, meanwhile, addressing the nation from Mar-a-Lago last night, he cast blame on the Biden administration for letting the suspect into the country. He called for the re-examination of every person who entered the U.S. from Afghanistan during the last administration. Of course, CNN had reported earlier this week that that process was already underway. Listen to the president.
The suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about.
Now, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services have announced moments later that all Afghan immigrant cases are stopping indefinitely, pending further review. And I also just want to remind you why these West Virginia guardsmen were here. They have been deployed in Washington since August as part of the president's crime crackdown. That is expected to continue until at least February. President Trump also...
You know what? You know what it is? You know what it is? Donald Trump's got language. Donald Trump's got language. His delivery systems are tacky. Can people just admit Donald Trump is always like the most belligerent motherfucker? Like, can we just admit that that's the way he talks in order to trigger people? Can we just be real about that? I mean, I'm not asking you to tell me if you like Trump or don't like Trump, but can we all kind of agree that when he says stuff like shithole country, stuff like that, that's for effect. That's because there's a certain people that support him that want to hear that type of talk. And I don't know, it triggers the psyches of the liberals. Yeah, they get all discombobulated. He said shithole country. He said this. He said that. Yeah, but I'm not talking about what he said. I'm talking about what he did, Johnson. I'm talking about what he did. And what I'm saying, what he did is that crazy. I do want to give an update about the National Guardsmen. Sarah Beckstrom. Okay, so the Afghan national, Ramanullah Lakanwal. That's it, Lakanwal, that's how you do it. 29 ambushed 2 West Virginia National Guard members near the White House. SPC Sarah Beckstrom, 20, died from wounds. Sergeant Andrew Wolf, 24, was critically injured, but is now alert and recovering. Lakanwal aided U.S. forces in Afghanistan and entered via Operation Allies. Welcome. In 2021, he used a .357 Magnum. He was shot 4 times and charged with first-degree murder. Oh, they got him 4 times. They were trying to make sure he didn't talk. And 4 times is pretty good. That's a lot of bullets. And now he's saying he's not talking. So I don't know what to make of that, but we'll see what happens with that. So other than Donald Trump's language about this, would any other president do anything different? Oh, he's going to halt immigration. He's going to halt granting asylum. Yeah, because it'll be on him. Fam, don't get it twisted. I mean, this just happened. Now, if next week they grant asylum to somebody next week, and then the week after, one of those people does something, who you gonna blame? Ghostbusters, or you gonna blame Trump? Who is America gonna blame? They're gonna blame Trump. They're gonna blame Trump anyway. It could rain fire out of the sky tomorrow. There could be a drought tomorrow, there could be an earthquake tomorrow, and there'll be people that blame Trump for it. He pulled us out of the Paris Accord. Hundreds of years of not giving a shit about the environment. This guy comes in, he's the one, his actions. Anyway, you get my point. All right. Yeah, I don't, like I said, fam, I'm staying on my business on this. I'm just gonna say, if any president that in a similar circumstance would do the exact same thing. Problem is, we got commentators that won't call it straight. They will not be real and honest about what's happening, and therefore they just can't be trusted. That's why you're here. So let's keep going. That's it.
Also announced he would be deploying 500 more National Guards members to Washington, D.C. in response to this horrific shooting.
Okay, Betsy, thanks so much for that update. I'm going to turn a little bit to the investigation. The FBI is going to be spearheading it, and it's being called an attack on federal law enforcement. So we've got CNN law enforcement analyst Jonathan Wackrow here now to talk about how this will unfold. Jonathan, thanks for being here with us this morning. I want to start with what they're going to be looking for from the suspect. As we mentioned, they're an Afghan national, believed to have come in under one of the various asylum programs, which did include vetting. So there's documentation, right, to go and look and learn about this suspect.
Yes. Good morning, Audie. Yes, the suspect came to the United States in 21, and that's the starting point for investigators, right? Like understanding, what happened during that vetting process, how detailed and what was the rigor of the information that they were reviewing at that time. But just the fact that he came in under the U.S. seeking U.S. asylum in 21, it's a relevant fact, but it's actually not the motive. And right now, what investigators are trying to do is actually ask a couple key questions. Most notably, was this a symbolic targeting of the military or some sort of anti-government movement, or was this just rooted in some type of personal grievance? And the way that they're going to do that is the same way that they take any type of shooting situation, is they work backwards. They start looking at all known associates, family members. They start doing a digital trace and looking, combing through the digital exhaust of this individual. Was he connected to other people who had or exhibited animus towards, the United States? Was this part of some sort of ideological movement? Again, that's where we may see a nexus to terrorism. We have not seen that yet, and we have not intimated that that is the case, but that is what investigators are looking for. And they're going to look through this link analysis of these associates and contacts to really piece together this mosaic of data to come to a determination of what is the motive. Now, we know that the suspect is not cooperating, but there are a lot of investigative tools and techniques that are at the FBI's disposal to get to, directionally what that motive may be.
The Trump administration now ordering another 500 National Guardsmen into the city. One thing we've been looking at today is that in the legal challenge process, there was a National Guard memo that had revealed some concerns about the deployment that commanders originally had, where they were basically saying this mission is kind of an opportunity for criminals or violent extremists or lone actors to advance their interests. They were saying that the Guardsmen themselves are sort of high visible and potential targets. Can you talk about that from a law enforcement perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I had mentioned this yesterday in the aftermath of the tragic incident, but right now we've seen a shift. And what I said is that, I believe that we've hit the point of marginal utility, especially in Washington, D.C., with the benefit of the National Guard. And what I mean by that is, they are on site to provide a visual deterrent, to show that visible force of surging law enforcement within the national capital region. But now it has shifted. We've heard from government officials say that these guardsmen were targeted directly. If that is the case, adding 500 more to the area just increases the potential targeting of these National Guard members. Now, you do have to address this crime and broader criminal acts throughout the area. I'd rather see more law enforcement than more soldiers put at risk in a mission that may be a little bit undefined for them.
Okay, Jonathan Wackrow, thanks so much. Thanks for being with us.
Whoa. Okay, so what he's saying is that there was a report put out that said that National Guard would basically be sitting ducks and they would be primary targets for terrorist acts. Family, I hadn't heard this. What I've been hearing people say is, why did Trump say it's Trump's fault? Because Trump brought him to D.C. Yeah, it's Trump's fault that the terrorists shot 2 National Guards people, because if it wasn't for Trump, they wouldn't have been there to be shot, which is kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy talk. We got people, we got troops all around the globe, places that we got all these military bases everywhere. It's crazy for people to say that. Do they realize they're Americans? And the bases, the number of bases that America has around the globe, more than any other westernized nation. In fact, we got more military bases, combine all the other westernized countries, and we'd have more military bases combined than what they have. Add France, whatever, add them all, and yeah. So we got no problem stationing people. Remember, we're stationing people in our own country. So look, something's boiling over. Tonight's where we say the quiet part out loud, where we say what they don't want to say, and that is, America is a shithole. Yeah, that's the part they're leaving out. That's what Trump's not telling you. America's a shithole. Not to the rest of the world. Maybe it is, but that's not my argument. America's a shithole to Americans. America's a shithole to the terrorists, the homegrown kind. Even the kind, because we all know we're more of a threat, we're at more risk due to domestic terrorism than other terrorists, right? Terrorists, foreign nationals. But in this case, we got somebody that worked with us in Afghanistan who was on our payroll, part of the Allied force. These are friends. These are people who put their lives on the line for us in Afghanistan. That's why we brought them with. We did a plus whatever to bring them here with us because they helped us so much in Afghanistan that if we left them, they'd probably be slaughtered. So we bring them with us. You mean to tell me when they got to the United States, America was so bad. America was so rotten. America was such a pot of shit that he said, I got to go shoot a couple of National Guardsmen. I got to go commit a terror act against this country. Because maybe he wanted to go home. Hey, Lakanawal, you could have went home, fam. When we have gave him tickets back, maybe he felt his life was destroyed. I like to hear what his story is. But fam, when National Guards are not safe in America, when U.S. National Guardsmen are not safe in America because in America they're going to be shot, that's crazy, fam. But you know what I'm not going to do, fam? I'm not going to sound the alarm just yet. Yeah, I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not going to jump out the gym. I'm not going to get frantic about it because how many National Guardsmen have been shot on U.S. soil? That's 2. How many Black Americans were shot on U.S. soil this year? I don't know, but I'm assuming I know it's safe to say more than 2. How many poor whites were shot on U.S. soil? How many of you Latinos were shot? How many Latino Americans were shot on U.S. soil? How about some Asians? We might even find a couple of Asians, a couple of Asian Americans who were shot on U.S. soil. My goodness, you may have found a couple of Native Americans that were shot on U.S. soil. So, I'm not tripping. I got a feeling, see, being a National Guardsman is just a job. I think we got a couple of Amazon workers. I think more Amazon workers were shot than National Guardsmen. Definitely more supermarket employees. You know what, though? I get Trump's point. Like I stated, I'm behind him. I support his idea of saying we got to stop asylum. That's what you got to do, man. If you broke into my house after I threw a party, you were invited, and I invited some friends, and just some people stole some shit, we won't be having parties anytime soon. We'd have to slow down on the parties. That'd be the first thing I'd do. I'd say, hold up, no more parties. We ain't going to be partying like that up in here. It's not 1999. We ain't partying this for a while. I got to do some vetting of my friends. I got to go to everybody's house and check their closets. You know, man, politics will make your head hurt. It will. It'll make your head hurt because we can think logically about this situation. There's so many moving pieces to it. On the one hand, I see Trump's move, and that's the same move any other president would make in a similar situation. He would say, let's pump the brakes on granting asylum to anybody right now. We just got burnt. No one would go, oh, that's wrong, that's racist. But then he doesn't help himself because he says racist shit as he does it. He says, it's a shithole country and shithole people from shithole country. How this shithole? Which gives the liberals something to talk about, gives the progressives something to complain about, and then they're going to make it not about what Biden would have done, what probably, presumably, what Obama would have done, what Bush would have done, what any other president would have done right after having a terror attack in D.C. Fam, I know where Fergus West is. I used to get off at that station all the time. It is like 15-minute walk from the White House. Okay? That's something else I don't know if you're getting. This was only 15 minutes from the White House. You know what I'm thinking? And I know a lot of people are not going to like this. You're not going to like it. But instead of bringing in 500 more National Guardsmen, hey, man, if you want to do some shit, you need to bring in another 50,000. Bring in 15. Bring in 15,000 more. That'll shut it down, Johnson. Yeah, see, this guy was only able to shoot a National Guardsman, 2 National Guardsmen, because wasn't enough of them to watch each other's back. Yeah. I was watching a clip where it looks like the brother of the young woman, the young soldier who lost her life, he was commenting about it. He said that his sister wasn't upset about the job she was here to do. She understood that D.C. appears to need help. But he said that there was frustration because she didn't feel that what she was doing was actually going to help. That's sort of how I've been feeling. Yeah, that's sort of how I've been feeling. When I had the conversation with DJ Knock, what up, DJ Knock from DC, my brother, when we talked about it, we talked about how this ain't the first time National Guard been in DC. I know some of the kids don't know that, but the National Guard been in DC before, under different presidents, right? But the thing is, how effective has it really been? Maybe it's been effective, but the effect of this is going to affect that effect. So this will cause an effect going on, Johnson. All right, I'm going to leave it there, fam. Let me know what you think about this. I think, to close it out, you either bring in more troops or take everybody home. You either get serious, you should get off the pot. If Trump's going to have National Guard in D.C. and this is going to happen to him, you either need to squad up, and more than 500, squad up thick as hell and go this a whole different way, or you be like, just call it a day. Shut it down. Okay? That's what we do in D.C. when our clubs get shut up. Now, if it was a club in D.C., we just shut it down the club. Grand opening, grand closing. Am I missing something, fam? Y'all let me know. But that's how I see it. A lot to do. All this is a political football time. Now, right now, the Democrats got the ball. They running down the field. They trying to score. So Trump tried to take the ball back by saying, no more asylum for any of the shithole country people, since they want to shoot up our country. And this is all you Democrats' fault. This was under Biden. Biden was probably asleep. Mr. Otto Penn was probably asleep when the vetting was done. All this talk of everyone being vetted, fully vetted, who came through Afghanistan. seems like it didn't work so well. And I don't know, Trump's people granted the asylum. Did they go back and do a revetting process? Or did they assume the vetting done by the Biden administration was sufficient? I'm going to leave it there. Family, family, family. There we go, there we go. Whose birthday? Happy birthday, Natasha. How you doing? Give it up for Natasha, y'all. Happy birthday, Natasha. I wish you many, many more happy birthdays, sister. Go ahead, Tasha. Y'all want to keep it moving? Let's keep it moving, fam. Buck said, gosh, Tim Black, you're black. Tim Black, I can't see you, Tim Black. There's a lot of comments going through, fam. Oh, well, check it out. Sleeper cell. Sleeper cell, fam. I don't know. I'm not ruling anything out at this point. Yeah, I'm not ruling that for now, fam. More like Globetrotter. All right, fam, let's keep it moving. Let me talk to y'all real quick. Okay, so check this out, guys. Hey, there's a handsome young man up there. All right, so check this out. This happened. Okay, so I've been covering Jasmine Crockett, Representative Jasmine Crockett. I've been critical of her and of her rhetoric, right? I've been critical of her and her rhetoric, not her as a person. I don't know her as a person. I don't make cuts. I don't practice. How can I say this? I don't routinely make digs at her hair and eyelashes and shit like that. When I'm talking about Jasmine Crockett, I'm talking about things that come out of her mouth that I disagree about, okay? That I find that are bad business for Black Americans. And I feel that many things that Jasmine Crockett has said, her on the national stage, I feel like she's setting Black people back politically. Once again, it's like they just throw a Black person in a slot, and then we have Black people that are put to sleep by seeing Black. And I think that a lot of the shit she says, if somebody white was saying it, people would more clearly see my point. Yeah, more clearly they would see my point. So here we go, family. So this is what happened. I'm on X. I posted my video. It's a video. I'm going to play a portion of the video. And I'm making the point that Jasmine Crockett has gone too far with her rhetoric. She compared deportations, ICE deportations, to slave patrols. Okay, and I had a problem with that. Thought it made sense, thought it was logical. Let's go from there. Because some people have been lying, some people have been exaggerating, some people have been falsifying information, repeating bullshit narratives. The words that Jasmine Crockett's been speaking on the airwaves has not been good for Black Americans. It's been that way for quite some time, but it's even gotten worse lately. It's as if the battery that was in her back got set on booster. Most recently, she made some comments about slave patrols. She was comparing slave patrols to ICE deportations. And I didn't hear a lot of the talking heads pushing back on the nonsense. It was like silence. Let's be very much aware of what we're talking about here. Slave patrols were here to support slavery. Deportations are to remove people who came here in overstayed visas or came through illegal entries. That's a totally different thing. Slave patrols people who were considered human property and return that property to the owner. ICE deporters take people that are here illegally, if adjudicated that way, and sent them back to their homeland, not to a person's basement, not to someone's shackles, not to someone's cotton field. Okay, so that's the video I put out. It's much longer. It's about 10 more minutes. She said other things, but that's the focus for right now. Okay, so someone replied to my video. And look, guys, typically, look, getting a reply is good. I like people replying to my conversation. Like, I bring up a topic, people disagree or agree with it, they make their comments, fine. Here's the thing, though. The person that responded to this is somebody that I know. It's someone that I brought on my show several times. It's someone that I regarded as a very smart person, very learned person, a person whose counsel on these matters in politics are something that I treasure, and I honestly feel this guy knows his shit. And yeah, he made a comment. Here goes his comment. The person's name is Ajamu Baraka, and this is what Ajamu Baraka said or tweeted in response to my tweet. And it's basically in response to a portion where I said, Jasmine Crockett, I said she crossed the line. He says, what line? A line established by want to be Americans. So he's taking a jab at me personally. He's saying I want to be an American. I'm a wannabe American. Not that I am American, but that I'm a wannabe American who can't see white supremacy. Now he's saying I'm blind to what's going on in the country. I don't know what kind of country I live in. Though he's been on my show four or five times, but he's saying I don't know what white supremacy is. Okay. Even when it's directed at them. Now he's saying I don't see it even if it's directed at me. So not only am I blind, not only am I not an American, but I think I am, now I'm dumb because I can't tell when someone is shitting on me. And then he switches the conversation. He goes, the objective of Trump's policies is to revive the idea of the U.S. as a white nation. So now he makes it about Trump. Yeah, and this is all kinds of troublesome for me because this is what liberals do. And Barack is not a liberal. He's like a revolutionary. He's a global diaspora type, it's a term for it. Forgive me, folks. It's a term. I don't want to mischaracterize my brother. I mean, he is who he is. What's the word for it? Anybody know what I'm looking for here? Yeah, he's a U.S. Army veteran in the Vietnam War. He's got degrees out the ass, an MA, a PhD, political science, Clark Atlanta University. Political activism. You all know he ran for the Green Party vice president in 2016. His position actually fits with a broader ideological framework he's operated from decades. He's a black internationalist. That's the word. He's not a black nationalist. He's a black internationalist. Which sounds a lot like, what's Dr. Umar? Somebody help me out. What is Dr. Umar? One of them people, right? I forget. One of those people. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Pan-African, that's it, fam. Yeah, it sounds like it's a Pan-Africanist. I'm having a hard time. Like, that's what I think he is, right? So that's what he's being driven to. I feel like that's what's driving his criticism. But he says The real historical analogy should have been the Fugitive Slave Act. The Fugitive Slave Act is just slave patrols going to get slaves and putting them out the country. That doesn't really change my argument, and that doesn't solve the problem. In fact, that makes it even more ice, baby. Like, it makes a more distinction between ice, baby, because ICE isn't going to get people to make them be captive. In fact, ICE is going to free them. Free! Back to their home. Free them back to their country. That's not bondage. Anyway, so what line? A line established by wannabe Americans who can't see white supremacy, even when it's directed at them. Okay. So I had a problem with it. And look, guys, and I'm gonna tell you, I did not jump out the gym on this. I didn't immediately respond. In fact, I questioned if I was going to respond at all. Haven't spoken to a Jamo in a couple years, or I should say we haven't spoken. Not because we had a falling out in any way, but I've been busy, he's been busy, I guess. It's not like we used to speak all the time anyway, but there was a period where we talked more often. And I never know what's going on with a person, what they're going through, what they're dealing with, what they've heard, whatever. So I say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna, maybe I should let this ride. Yeah, maybe I'll let it ride because we don't have to agree on everything. It's fine that he disagrees. He disagrees with me, I disagree with him, fine. Big deal, Johnson. Live and let live. But then I thought about it. Yeah, I had a second thought about it. I said, you know what, though? He took a shot at me. And I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a grown man. He took a shot at me publicly. He basically called me a white nationalist sympathizer for calling out Crockett. This nigga is defending Jasmine Crockett. Maybe I don't know him at all. Who defends her using us? Excuse me. Who defends? What brother defends Jasmine Crockett using black people, black Americans? Maybe that's it. Maybe John was something beyond black America. He's something else. He's all things. He's Mother Africa. He's all the black people globally. You know what I'm saying? Every person that has any amount of black blood, African blood in their veins, he's them. He on that shit. So, but that does not sit well with me because he's coming at me. And then he threw Trump in it. So I said, nah, I gotta respond to this. Yeah, I gotta go back at this because this shit is public. And unlike the Green Party, I have a presence 24/7, 365. I don't just show up election time and jump on someone's fucking ballot. No, I'm out here all the time. I got a platform all the time. 13 years of a platform. Me, by myself, running it. So when you come at me and you shit on me, call me dumb, call me a white nationalist, sympathizer, and too dumb to know when someone's targeting me, well, I think I have a right to come back at you publicly. In fact, I owe it to my people to make sure we clear the record. Because the last thing I want is other people say, he didn't say shit. I already had somebody jump in the comments, coon. Thanks, Ajamu. Perfect. Now I got morons calling me coon because you just did. So now I post it. I post it. And my reply is up here. I thought I had no choice but to reply. I thought it was the right thing to do. If it'll get to it, I don't know how long this will be here. Okay, here we go. So I replied to a Jama when I said this. I said, hey, I start off letting them know, hey, low blow. Low blow. Happy Thanksgiving, Ajamu. Now, there's a couple reasons why I started this way. One, I wanted to let him know off the top, I ain't like what he said. And yes, I'm smart enough to know when you're shitting on me. Then, happy Thanksgiving, Ajamu. I said that to say, hey, long time, haven't spoke to you. That's happened. In my life, I don't know about yours. I also said it because I'm pretty sure he don't celebrate no damn Thanksgiving. I want to let him know I'm a Black American, and the Black Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, most of us. Okay? So, yeah, let's go here. That's sort of a dig. I mean, I was diffusing things, but also giving him give him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know his ass don't celebrate no damn Thanksgiving. He too much Mother Africa to do that shit. White man this, white man that, you know. As I stated in the video, crossing the line of comparing undocumented persons being deported to chattel slavery. What's not to get? And I stand on that. I let him know very clearly, look, man, the line that was crossed is the line I will stand on. We can talk about it, we can debate it, we can have that conversation. But I do not feel these two things have anything to fucking do with each other. I do not feel Donald Trump or Obama or any president deporting people who are not citizens of this country back to their country. Not to a plantation, not to slavery. But the fuck out of here is not the same thing as some slave traders picking up formerly enslaved people or freedmen and putting them in bondage. It just seems like Ajama was stuck on something crazy. Like I don't know what there is to get wrong. And then I said it. Look, I don't know how you don't get it. You're too smart for me having to explain this. I should have to explain this to you. I know she ain't giving you money, so why are you standing up for this shit? What's not to get? I don't give a fuck what Trump's objectives are. And I said that on purpose. I said that on purpose, fam, because, hey, look, man, and this is for all of you people who are critics, who fall into this ideology where binary world shit, which is disappointing with John because he a Green Party guy. He ran as a Green Party. Dude, me criticizing Jasmine Crockett is not to elevate Trump. You're like the last person that I should have to say that about, or two, or explain that to. I've never supported a Republican president or a Democratic president. Neither one. But see, I'm an advocate for Black Americans. And if you advocate for Black Americans, you're also by default an advocate for working class because 80% of Black Americans are working class Americans. That rarefied air of the elites, that's a special class. And most of America is working class people, where we have the same problems, just to varying degrees. Varying degrees. Basically, whether you white or black, if you go into a working class household and look at the cabinet, your ass is liable to see makeshift Tupperware out of used Chinese containers. Across the board, wherever you go, there you go. Okay? So There are things that are in common with all people from a working class background. That does not mean we support Trump. It does not mean I support Trump or that I'm enabling Trump. And what's this enabling shit? Fam, Trump won the election, didn't have nothing to do with me, had nothing to do with you. Had something to do with all those white people that vote for him, the Republican, no matter who runs. No matter who runs, they vote Republican. They was going to vote Republican last time, this time, and the next time. It don't matter who it is. Same thing goes for all those people that vote blue anywho, regardless of who runs. They vote blue. It ain't got nothing to do with you and I. We are 13%, 14% of the U.S. population. We do not swing elections. In the way that your friend Biden, who if you're going to throw me in with Trump, but I'm going to throw your ass in with Biden. Your friend Biden let in 20 million motherfuckers into my country for my son and daughter to compete with for jobs. I got a problem with it. Obviously, you think it's cool because deporting those people that came in, you think is white supremacy. I find it very rich when people say it's white supremacists to deport people, but they don't think it's white supremacists to have black Americans lose jobs to these motherfuckers. To have black Americans become the underclass, the new people coming in the country 2 minutes ago. That's not white supremacy though, and I don't have a right to push back on that. Now, I do have a right to do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. But see, we can disagree. You can advocate for all the black people globally, and I can advocate for the black people right here, the ones I grew up with, the ones in my family, the ones I know, the ones I've buried, the ones I've loved. I haven't traveled to Cuba, haven't been internationally, haven't sat in a hut in some remote village in the West Indies or some shit. I've been here around black people, working with black people, loving with black people, soaking up this culture with black people. And I'm going to say contributing to the culture of black people, because ain't that many black men got a platform for 15, 14, 13 years that's black owned and black run. Let's just throw that out there. I did that. So I got a right to advocate who I advocate for. Got all these progressives, you got all these Pan-Africanists talking their shit. Why would you jump into my comments on this? Why would you make me your foe? Why would you make me someone to beef with? And why would you throw with low blows? Why come you just can't be like, Tim, hey, well, I think what you said is trying to say this, and this is where I see it, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we can't take our eye off how shitty Trump is. That ain't what you did. That's not what you said. And for the record, I don't know where you live at. I don't think you live in the United States. I'm a black American. Yeah, I'm a black American, Ajamu. Black. My mama was black. She still is. My dad was black. He still is. My kid's black, my wife black, my milk dud head black, this table black, this mic black, my politics black. And I ain't changing that shit. And I lost thousands of that, hundreds of thousands of dollars riding for black people. You don't respect that? You didn't say that when you came over here and I gave your ass a platform. Never had a problem then. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? Hey, Tim, my brother. You always was nice. Let me stand up for black people over people that have a fucking country. Fuck it. Latin America is a whole continent. What do black Americans got? We got this little piece of land in America that we died for, sweated on, that we helped build. It was never compensated for. I don't see nothing wrong with me fighting for that shit. Fighting for hours. Do I think I'm going to be a victor? I don't know, but I'm fighting a good fight. You know, and I don't shit on the Pan-Africanists or the African globalists or internationalists, what black international, whatever. I don't shit on you for having your beliefs. Why would you shit on me for having mine? Is that I'm a black American in John Moon. I'm going to say that shit with pride. I say that with pride. Okay? And I'm critical of both parties. I never told anybody to vote for Trump, and I never told anybody to vote for Biden. And I'm tired of black representatives, whether they Jansen Crockett or Al Sharpton, or Congressional Black Caucus or whoever, using black pain, black American pain. That's the problem. I don't think you see black Americans no more. You don't see us as a distinct group. I do not apologize, nor do I backtrack of saying she need to shut the fuck up and stop using black for everything. They using blackness to make trans people be able to use, for trans men to be able to use the bathroom, trans women to use the bathroom with girls, little girls, and women in locker rooms. What black people got to do with that? What is us being treated like citizens, human beings, in a society we built for free, against our will, without getting paid? What the hell that got to do with trans people using bathrooms? They're using it though. So yeah, John Moran, you understand what I'm saying? You get it? It's disappointing. It really is. So anyway, I ended it on, I repeat, deportations are not equal to slavery. You know, getting shot in the ass, is that the same thing as being told to leave someplace? To me, it seems basic. You come up in my office, you come up in my studio, and I throw you the fuck out. Is that the same thing as selling you into slavery? I've been thrown out of places. You ever been thrown out of a restaurant or a club? We used to party, man. We used to get it in at the Celebrity Hall here in D.C. We used to go to the Go-Go, fam. You know? Check out some IE, some Chuck Brown, Air Raid, Northeast Groover, some shit like that. Junkyard. And sometimes fights would break out. And they would throw our ass out the club. That ain't the same thing as slavery. They throw us out the club and we wouldn't have to go to a plantation. We'd have to go home. Or they would say, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. And we get out of there. We would get out of there, Jamu. But that's not the same thing as being a slave. Oh, no. They're making us leave the Go-Go early because of a fight. They said we got to go. They treating us like slaves. Notice, no one says they treating us like Jewish people. See, you didn't open a can of whip ass. Y'all didn't open a can of whip ass messing with me. I told you. Most dangerous show in America, fam. Whenever y'all open your mouth to me about anything I do when I say no business with black people, I'm going to start and finish like this. Would you do that shit to some Jewish people? No? Then shut all the way up. Shut it all up. Because I know you wouldn't be saying that if I was Jewish. You wouldn't be in my thread saying I got something wrong with me saying, don't be misusing the suffering of my people. You would be quiet. You wouldn't be making me have to define the line, because it would be an accepted thing that I am Jewish. Therefore, I can tell you when the fucking line is, not you. You don't identify as Black American. You are internationalist. You are amorphous. You are something else. You are a spiritual being that floats from African nation to African nation. You're not a black American anymore. So you don't get to ask me, I don't have to define for you what this black man means when the black man says this person crossed the line for black people. You crossed the line on my culture. This is my shit I stand on. I was doing this shit when Jasmine Crockett was still in 30,000 a year preparatory schools. I've been doing this show. I've been doing this fucking show, Jamu, while the person you standing up for was in $30,000 a year classes. High school. Let me think. She's 43. Not quite that long, but close to it. All right. Look, man, I got no problems with the Jama, man. I disagree with him. I got a problem with his thinking. I got a problem with his reasoning on this particular issue. And if you would have talked to me before this happened, and I would have saw it, if you asked me what did I think about a Jama, I would say a Jama is a person who, after speaking to him, I feel like I've learned something and if I didn't learn something, I see things in a different way. He definitely is committed to his point of view. Well, Ajamu Baraka, I'm also committed to mine in the same regard. We both had that in common. We differ, but we're both very much committed. I'm very 10 toes down committed to what I'm on. But don't insult me with the white nationalist shit or the Trump shit. I don't ride for Trump, and I ain't never supported Trump, and my people are not Trumpets. Now, when I shit on Democrats, funny thing happens. MAGA people like it. Because they agree. I don't have to court them. I don't have to throw them peanuts. I don't have to buy them TV sets. You get a car, you get a car. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to tap dance a coon. All I can do is say my opinion about the Democratic Party, and most of them will agree with it because they feel the same way. That doesn't mean that I am being wooed by them. Fuck y'all, man. When Dave Chappelle tells a joke, all types of people laugh. When Bill Burr tells a joke, all types of people laugh. When Ali Sadiq tells a joke, when Corey Holcomb tells a joke, well, maybe not Corey, because Corey he be saying some, but his brother's, boy, that brother's hard, man. He be saying some, but people laugh, different people laugh. You probably had one or two white people go to the show. But I'm saying, people would, I like Corey. Jokes are funny. What I'm saying is, a great comedian makes a joke. It can be universally funny. There were people that laughed in Riyadh. They laughed in the festival. They went over in India, whatever they did. I don't know. I'm saying there are people that laugh in all countries, in all cultures, at jokes. Okay? They get the context, they get it. You don't have to write the joke for them. I did not write my lines for MAGA to get them. In fact, I've been saying them before MAGA existed. I've been shitting on Democrats before there was a MAGA. Remember? Before Trump got elected, I was a critic of the Democratic Party, fam. Why do you think I supported you in 2016? Damn, man, the more I talk, the more offended I get that you did this shit. Nigga, I didn't sell out. People just agree with me. They ain't gave me no money. Don't worry, Ajamu. All y'all niggas worried until messed around and sold out. Dude, don't worry, I'm still broke. Happy? Happy? I don't have any money. Happy? Happy? This is not the David Pack. I'm not one of the progressives that picked up a bag. I'm also not one of those lame-ass fake revolutionaries that courted Candace Owens and made money off that and expanded my brand and increased everything by bringing on a bunch of white guys and white women who don't have anything to do with our culture at all. And then tap dance between the two. I'm not doing that shit. Okay? So I'm saying, like, in fact, you owe it to me to have a conversation. Yeah. You owe it to me to have the conversation. I'm going to take out on you all my angst for all y'all who act like you own me. Y'all motherfuckers don't own me, and I don't owe you shit. But you do owe me respect because I had you on my platform. You didn't have me on yours. You didn't have me on yours. None of y'all did. Y'all just took. Y'all motherfuckers just took and took the fuck off. Now that's personal. It's got nothing to do with my argument, folks. It's got nothing to do with my argument at all. ICE officers, slave patrol. Deportations remove people that are not citizens. This shit is not even in the same universe. And I don't give a fuck how many Mark Lamont Hill, Ajamu Barakas, and fucking Angela Rye, Tiffany Crosses you carry. That shit have never make sense to me. I just want to agree with her. And with you, I don't even understand that you get nothing for it. They're going to hate you anyway, Ajamu. That's how I know he's coming from a real place, because some people don't mess with him. Now, if it was anybody, it was one of them liberals, if it was Roland responding to me with some bullshit, it'd be different. Because he getting money from them people. I don't know why, Ajamu. So I know within it, there's a miscommunication. Because Ajamu, he ain't getting money with, he ain't getting money with Roland Martin's people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm on my platform, share with my audience how I feel. I still got love for you. Ajamu Baraka, you're invited to the Tim Black Show. Come on, the most dangerous show in America. But no, it's going to be some furniture moving around. All right? Because you cross the line. You crossed the line when you said I'm too dumb to know what white nationalism is. All right. I'm going to keep it moving, fam. Thank you for being here, family. Thank you. I got more content. That's not it. I didn't expect that to happen. I had no plan for that segment to go that long. Y'all ready? Got a couple more things. Not much. We got a couple more things. Where we at, family? I'm sure Jamu will come through. Because that's the type of brother Jamu is. He's gonna stand on his business. In fact, yeah, I'm 98% sure he'll come on and have a conversation. He might even be in my inbox right now. He might be in my inbox right now. Yeah, Jared Ball. Yeah, you know, Jared Ball, Mark Hill people. They none of y'all gonna make me understand why Jasmine Crockett's right comparing deportations to slave patrols. Oh, because they pick people up? It matters what happened to them after you pick them up. That's a difference. Buses pick you up. Damn. All right, let's keep going.
Latasha Brown, Black Voters Matter. We ain't buying it. Are launching a movement this Black Friday and going forward about stores that are contributing to things like Donald Trump's inauguration and all of these things, which we feel like, or the library, which we feel like are not necessarily conducive to the policies that would move people forward. And so this weekend, Black folk are flexing their buying power and saying, we ain't buying it.
All right, Scott.
You know, we ain't buying it. Yeah, you know, I saw this now. Bakari, it appears somebody who's friendly with Bakari, they're starting another boycott. Because we ain't got enough boycotts. Boy, black people be boycotting more than any other group of people. I never hear other groups of people boycotting. I mean, the grievance coalition of MAGA, they boycott a lot, but I'm talking about, you know, other than them, all right? No one else boycotts like us. Just once, I love for us to boycott on some black shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, Bakari, I'm not shitting on your boycott. You just promoted that on CNN and you told at least 5,000 people about it. Yeah, because CNN's reach ain't what it used to be. But it was still, and I'm gonna help out. Not that that's going to, now, look, now 5,500 people know about it. But okay, the premise is you're boycotting anybody that's going to do business with Trump. You would have to boycott every federal contractor in America, sir. Every contractor, every federal contractor, everybody with a job in America that works for the federal government, you'd have to say, boycott all that shit. That would be a lot of business, sir. And you know what? A lot of black people will get hurt by that. Yeah, sometimes these boycotts, I'm not really sure. Are you really accomplishing the thing you think you're accomplishing? What are we doing exactly? But hey, anybody who don't want to spend money with anybody, I support it. I support you keeping money in your pocket. So it ain't about that. My point is this, fam. Do what you want to do with your money. My issue is this. Why come black Americans can't boycott things that are hurting black Americans? Why do we always boycott shit for the greater good? You know, we're always trying to boycott some Trump-related shit. Oh, this is for Trump. Trump, we're going to boycott. The DI shit ain't about black people. DI is for white women. You can't lie to me because I know. You can't clean it up. You can't goose it up. Primarily helps white women. Everybody knows that. SBA loans, we get like 4% of SBA loans. You know that? 4%. What you gonna do? Boycott the federal government for SBA loans because of DEI? Well, we only get 4%. It doesn't seem like a fair exchange. Doesn't seem like we have as much to win and very little to lose. Yeah, it'd be different if you said they gotta buy black. They gotta buy black or we boycotting. That'd be different. And that'd be different if you said, Target, you need to open the doors further for black businesses or we boycott. And if we boycott, we're gonna stand on it. But that's not what we do. We got Al Sharpton and Jamal Bryant and yada, 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 yada on some DI shit. And to me, it's very disheartening, man. It bothers me because it's like we never can focus. It's like we're not good enough. Our issues are not good enough for us to stand up for our issues. The only time we stand up is somebody else's issues. And it's almost as if there's something there. It's like a monetary thing. Hey, man, if somebody punched my mom in the mouth, we gonna scrump. We gonna fight. But if you punch my cousin who I don't know or a person down the block, I don't know, well, they should do something. Where are their people at? Yeah, where are all the white ladies that was at the pussy hat thing when Clinton lost? Where are they at now the DEI shut down? They should be the ones because it's their daughters that are losing their DEI slots. Where are all those geriatric, people? I'm just saying, man, I'm just being honest. Look, black Americans need to expend black American energy, resources, and focus on things that help us. Look, man, we don't need to play away games. We're struggling. We're in a bad situation. We're bringing up the rear, Johnson. I was looking at the homeless statistics, and just like a place like California, Los Angeles, how you gonna be, 7% of the population and 50% of the homeless population? And then you want to boycott who? Is it to help black people get off the streets in LA? No, that'll never even cross their mind. Where is Maxine Waters on that boycott? Because she'd have to boycott her damn self. Get my point? No? Is that making sense? I'm not being articulate enough. Let me try to articulate this. One of the problems that we have is that we focus too much on what the mainstream is doing. Not realizing the mainstream does not impact us in the same regard as others. And we become basically beasts of burden and donkeys for someone else's movement. Meanwhile, shit we really need to get them, things and issues that really concern us to directly impact us, we don't have any fire for. And at the end of the day, I think it's a bag attached to it. I'm not indicting Bakari because I don't know. But I feel like there's a bag attached to it. There's got to be some money. I smell, there we go. I smell money somewhere. Because I think most of the time that's what it's about. It's some money for some non-government organization somewhere putting money somewhere and people trying to get some of it. Whether it's Stacey Abrams, eco-friendly washers and dryers and stoves, or whatever the hell that was. Or it's Al Sharpton and Jamal Bryant fighting over who's going to be the Negro Whisperer. And which Negro is going to become the leader of said Negroes, of the old Negroes, with the big hats that show up on Sunday. I think it's insulting. I think it's slow down, man. And I think it's better ways to spend our time and our money and our resources. And it just said to me, I just saw it. I said, I got to comment on it. I don't know anything about this boycott other than what you stated in that brief clip. It's a very short clip. Of course, you know, you may mean it another way. It just appears to me to be a big, lot of red flags. Yeah, a lot of red flags in this. And I think a lot of Black Americans know what I mean by that. All right, folks, let's keep it moving. I got a couple more things, maybe one or two more. See what we got. Okay, so I'm watching this, right? I saw this pop up on TikTok or X. I said, wow, this is an interesting clip. I'd never seen this clip before. It's of course very entertaining because Richard Pryor's in it. And the woman here, her name is Dorothy Foldhome. Damn, Dorothy Foldhome. And I never knew who this person was. An American journalist, a news anchor who spent the majority of her career at the Cleveland Press in WEWS News TV, based in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay? Anyway, so that's who she is. She's a journalist. Yo, so I wanted to share that because Richard Pryor, man, that brother, he didn't give a damn. He did not give a damn. He said what he thought. He was funny, and he was honest. And I know when I posted it on X, I said to somebody, I said, damn, man, name a comedian nowadays that would be bold enough to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, we got a lot of people that are cowardly, man. They wouldn't be on, like, say you're on Jimmy Kimmel or someplace and there's like, I don't know, that's Katie Couric or, I don't know, some equivalent to that. Who will be willing to call her out and embarrass the shit out of her on live TV? Not just one-liners, but a couple things and stand on business. And I'm not saying no one would, but you really got to think about it. Like, it's not like a bunch of comedians jump out in your mind that will be willing to put themselves, you know, in the media like that. Like standing on business. Speaking up for poor people, speaking up for Black people, speaking up for what's going on in, in the country, like boldly saying that. I just think Richard was a special brother, and you can look now, you'll find a lot of comedians that would not have the courage to speak like that. You know, he keeps saying that we've come a long ways, and we as a people, we come a long ways, and we've grown and yada yada yada. But I don't know, some ways we kind of move backwards. Yeah, I feel like in some ways he moved backwards. I mean, LeBron ain't Ali. You know what I'm saying? And Steph Curry, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Name some. Who's Jim Brown? Who's Arthur Ashe? Who's Richard Pryor? Like who are the people that took these Harry Belafonte? You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about these people, these black folks who were brave, courageous, bold, raw, real, committed, down. Where's the Simone? Where's Nina Simone? You know what I'm saying? Where's Nina Simone? Who's the modern day Nina Simone? I don't know, maybe she exists, but it'll be on some, trans international black internationalism, or it won't be or us. Fam, I feel like it's a difference than what we have now. What we have now is not what we had. And I get it. Yeah, we got Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and Peacock. I know we got all these platforms, and you can order anything. And Instacart and DoorDash will deliver it to your door. I get it, and that's great. And we got AI that can make clips and do all the things, but right here in our hearts, what we got? What we got? Do we have people that are really standing on business for Black America? Are they standing on business for working class folks? Are they standing on business for poor folks? Are they really standing on business, or they got a battery in their back from a narrative about a political ideology based on some shit they watch on a liberal news show? I don't think Richard Pryor was talking about the opinions of liberal news media. He was talking about what he knew to be true about the country and about what's happening. And this woman said, one of my favorite lines, something that I never hear, well, until the last couple of years with the heavy rise in black coonery, no difference between black and white. To which she responded, "You're crazy." And there are people that still say it. They still say, "I just no difference between black and white." And that's crazy. Because that goes to show you how out of touch they really are with the real world. You know what I'm saying? We start looking at these numbers. We start looking at the stats and statistics. We start looking at the foreclosure rates. We start looking at the trade-in value for our houses, our cars, all items. We start looking at the lines of credit. We start looking at the SBA loans. We start looking at the percentages, the interest rates. We start looking at the graduation levels. We start looking at all the things, from life expectancy to numbers of incarceration to, we start looking at these things. And you'll see there's a big difference. Humongous difference, okay? Home ownership rate. We start looking at the difference. Look at the difference. Oh, Tim, it's not 40%, it's 43%. And it's a 30-point difference, dum-dum. And I mean, that would be an issue to some. But there's a difference. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying it's my fault. I'm saying it exists. It exists. And it was a beautiful thing, man. And only when you talk about what exists, only when you're open, honest, real, willing to have pushback, willing to be judged, willing to lose opportunities, only then, Johnson, will America ever have to face any of it? Part of what got us to this point, though I feel like we lost some ground, yeah, because it's real strategic. Because once you start giving black people positions, put some black faces in high places, then all of a sudden those people are used as a buffer and as a Negro whisperer to calm down the working class blacks. Because that's where the fire, the fury, and the courageousness comes from. Yeah, I have even smart people, good people that know my show really well, and people that I consider confidants and friends to the show. One of them, remarkably, he told me very point blank, like a few years ago. I was like, "Fam, won't you join me in this thing? Won't we work more together?" And he said, "Man, that's a young man's game. I got a family." And all I could think was, me too. Me too. And see, I don't know. I just think we lost something. We lost something, family. I don't know how we get it back, but I know we don't have to. We can start by not agreeing to look the other way. We can start by not self-censoring. It's one thing when the man makes you shut up. It's one thing when they throw you off platforms. I get it. Hard to fight that. Hard as hell when they take the mic for you to still use the mic if the mic's been cut off. But when you are cutting your own mic, that's the difference. We got people cutting their own mic. And even worse, we got people doing the job of others in order to increase their own pockets, in order to monetarily, financially benefit. You understand what I'm saying? And that to me is a horrible thing, fam. So anyway, look, man. I'll just close it up, man. Thank you, Richard Pryor. Rest in peace, Richard Pryor, for being such a dominant figure, man, and showing how it's done. The man, you ain't gotta be perfect. You can be flawed as hell, but he's still on business. And that says something. More of us should be that way. And I think it will help. I don't know if it will fix everything, but it can't be any worse. Thank you. Thank you, Black Mama, for supporting this show. One way to support the show is order your TBTV Legacy mug. 20 to your door, free shipping. Go to timblackmug.com, and thank you, my sister. Thank you. Surfer said it ain't too late, Tim. Hey, man, look, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that idea. I hope it's not too late, because we're still up here doing it, aren't we? Yeah, it's not too late. I can still push. All right, fam, look, I'm going to count on you. All right, guys, remember, this is the Tim Black Show. We do this show Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays right here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got the amazing Black Mamba, Ebony, and Buck Bewley holding it down in the chat room. We're on all these platforms. Find us. You are watching the most dangerous show in America, and I will see you tomorrow. Till then, don't let anybody take your cornbread, and stay dangerous. All right, family. I appreciate y'all.